Hi everyone, this is Holly over at Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and a big hello to my subscribers. I love you guys so much. Today I'm doing 4 thrift flips. It's been a while since I've done thrift items and I've had a lot of requests for them, so I thought that would be fun. And of course, as usual, I hope you enjoy my video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love it if you click that button. DIY number 1. I found a steal, you guys, at the thrift store. It was this key from World Market originally for $30. I got it for $2.50 on half price day. I love this key. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it. I just knew that I wanted it, and I was so happy. That was like, you know, every time you go thrifting, there's always one find that you think, that was the find of the day. That was my find of the day. So here's my free wood that I talk about. This is one of the pieces they gave me. And because it's real wood, I'm using the color Pavement by Apple Barrel, and I'm watering it down, and I'm using it more like a stain so we can preserve that grain there, because I think real wood, you know, you just can't beat it. That's the real grain. And I'm just taking some khaki and weathering it and aging it and distressing it a little bit so that it looks old and rustic, because the key, you know, I love it, but I knew that it looks more like it could go almost with an Italian villa type theme, and I needed mine to be more rustic farmhouse. The keys definitely go with the farmhouse, but I needed to just make some subtle changes. And I'm showing you there the beautiful designs on there. They're very intricate, but you can't see them. In real life, they're kind of lost in the darkness. So I'm just taking that khaki and lightly dry brushing over it on purpose so that we can make those nice, beautiful designs pop a little bit. And here I want the edges to look like they're chipped and worn down a little bit, so that's like the perfect color, so it looks like it's chipped down to the raw wood underneath. I don't think the key's actually real wood, it's something else. It might be, but I don't think so. So I'm making it look like real wood. So here's something I designed, and some chalk, because this is a dark surface, so I'm going to use chalk. And a little tip for you guys, because I see crafters take the chalk all the time and rub it all over the back of whatever it is they're going to transfer. It makes it more messy than it needs to be because the dust gets everywhere. Just focus on where, like, you're basically tracing the back of the letters or designs with the chalk. See how I'm just staying on the letters? And that way it puts the chalk exactly where you need it, and it gives you a much cleaner final result, and it saves your chalk. Someone was asking me how I design my little, you know, wording like this. I just there's a bunch of free farmhouse font that you can download online, and I just use my word processing program, and I do it that way. If I have an imagery, you know, like an image like that heart, then I'll go into another program called Photo Impact. It's a very old program that was competing with Photoshop for a while. It was a much better user-friendly program, but unfortunately Photoshop was more established, so they put them out of business. But that's what I use for any kind of imagery that I have. So this is my chalk pen, also down below in a link. Now I don't want to quote you on prices, you guys, because you know, they keep changing, and so I'm not sure, but when I shopped at Amazon and bought that pen, it was the most reasonable chalk pen on Amazon. So hopefully it still is, but it's a great chalk pen. Unfortunately, it just wasn't bright enough, and you know, I wanted this wording to kind of pop a little bit, so I ended up having to take white paint and paint over it, but that's okay because, you know, I love painting, it relaxes me, and I really liked the way it turned out in the end. And I think the heart looks a little too empty, so I just take a sponge and sponge a little bit of white in there, and we need our drill to drill some holes. So now it has some holes in it, and that will allow me to change it out if I want to change the signs later down the road. And I'm just taking some of that color in Pavement by Apple Barrel and aging the edge just a little bit to make it look dirty, and I'm sealing it in with some Mod Podge. And I'm just going to take this upholstery needle and thread some twine through so that we can hang it up. Upholstery needle, one of the best things I ever bought, but you know, if you don't have that, you should be able to just tie this around a skewer and pull it through as well. So here it is, you guys, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. My plan to make all the little designs popped worked perfectly. The key went from looking, you know, kind of chic to looking more rustic. It looks almost like a wooden key now. I mean, it completely looks farmhouse. It goes with the rest of the theme in my home, and I absolutely love this. Very, very pretty, and the sign has a very meaningful saying on for everybody. And before we go on to the next DIY, this video is in collaboration with very cute Teresa over at Our Green Acres. Her channel features super cute DIYs in farmhouse, shabby chic, and French country themes, so there's something for everyone. And without a doubt, this gal is the real deal. She lives out in the country, chops wood, and they plow their land to plant corn. It's a really fun channel to watch, and the frosting on the cake is that Teresa has to be one of YouTube's cutest personalities. So after my video, please hop on over there to check it out and let her know I sent you. DIY number 2. Now, I'm so sorry I lost the beginning footage. All you see right there is me checking to see if the paint's dry. I just filmed myself painting these buckets. They were thrift finds. They were each $1.99. I got them half price on 50% off day, and so $1 each. And this bucket here has frogs on it. So my goal is to make those, you know, camouflage them and make them disappear, because frogs are cute, but I'm not really wanting frogs for this particular decor piece. And I go ahead and take some sandpaper just to distress both of these little buckets. I was going to galvanize, but I just have a lot of galvanized stuff in my house right now, so I thought it's time for some farmhouse white. I know everybody says, I always see white, 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 but for me, I don't actually have enough white, so we're going to do these buckets white. And this is my solution to the frog. I just actually take a hammer and I start pounding him. All the little shapes on the outside, on the inside. It actually works. You know, I figure I've got a farmhouse themed home. Everything's rustic, so a dented bucket will like totally go. It will go better than the frog. So I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain here. Anyway, it works brilliantly, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. And that lovely lady in the bathing suit and that nice man sitting by his Jaguar in 1946 is my mother and her father in England. So she's posing there in 1948 and he's posing in 1946. And you know what? This is a great craft, you guys. I was going to go online and look for a stranger, you know, just an old vintage free download picture. And I suddenly thought, you know what? If you've got a family member or a photo of a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, just someone that you love the photo. I always remembered this photo and how good my mom looked. It looked like a movie star, and it was perfect for this craft. You should use them. I didn't even, you know, when I thought of it, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, because it's a way to enjoy my mom all the time, and, you know, I still have a home decor piece. So I don't know if you guys noticed, I used my fingers to rub the Mod Podge on, which is a great way to, because I really dented that bucket. I needed to make sure that the photo stuck down in all the little grooves. And it doesn't mess the finish up as long as you're doing it while the Mod Podge is still wet and you finish it off with a brush stroke. And here I am just taking the pewter gray from Apple Barrel paint, and going around the edge here to kind of, you know, soften up the borders. I don't want those real harsh borders, and I didn't want to tear the photo either. And so I used my finger to rub it in and cloud it up and just generally age the photo and the entire bucket. I end up aging it all the way around on both. I never got to meet my granddad either. He actually passed away before I was born. He had emphysema, and when he went in for surgery, they accidentally gave him too much anesthesia, and it's funny, in those days I just kind of went, oh dear, you know, it was an awful accident. The doctor felt terrible, everyone felt terrible. There were no lawsuits. Here it would be a lawsuit, or nowadays it would be a lawsuit, but everyone just kind of accepted, you know, there was some risk when you went in those days. But I never got to meet him, so this little bucket's very, very special to me for that reason too. I get to enjoy these people. My mom's still with me, but I get to enjoy them every day now. And one of my lovely subscribers asked me whether I prefer Walmart flowers or Dollar Tree. I mean, look at the Walmart flowers, you guys. They're 47 cents more. They're fuller. They're more beautiful. I prefer those. I think it's a better deal for the money. You get more. Some of the Dollar Tree are nice, but here is the final craft. You guys, there she is. She's in my living room. So cute. And he's in the kitchen up in the farmhouse hutch near the washboard. Totally cute. And the washboard I have is actually a real washboard that she used in 1952 in Canada when they first immigrated out here. My parents. It's so cute. Anyways, I love this craft, and if you guys have some old pictures, I highly recommend you do it. It's a lot of fun. DIY number 3. Now this is a great thrift find here. Solid wood, big, heavy, thick metal nails in there. $4.99, so $2.50 on 50% off day at my local Goodwill, and I had to have it. It's already washed with soap and water. I got it back in January. I'm just taking a baby wipe to wipe off the dust because it's been in the garage. You know, I went crazy and got a bunch of thrift finds because I heard the tidal wave was coming, and I knew I wouldn't be able to be in the thrift store for a while because it would be closed. So I went and got a bunch of stuff in January. So they're in my garage, and a little dusty, just using a little bit of my Holly Humble chalk paint here, which I've heard from all you lovely people. You've used it on furniture, kitchen cabinets, you love it. Thank you so much for letting me know, because when I first released the video, I just envisioned you guys using it on crafts for fun. I never thought it would get bigger than that, and it's really good to hear that it sounds nice, came up beautiful. I mean, look at it, it covers amazing. Now, it doesn't have chemicals and solvents to deal with, you know, maybe issues, I think, with brush strokes. But in my experience, all chalk paints leave brush strokes. From the very cheap at Walmart, Waverly, Rust-Oleum. I haven't used Annie Sloan's, to be fair, but here I turn off the light so you can see what I'm dealing with the first coat, and it looks identical to what I dealt with when I used Waverly. You do have to do 2 coats when it's on something dark like this. Now, I do want to do a shout out to April Adair here, because April has a great suggestion. In her most recent video, she is refinishing furniture using Waverly chalk paint. There's the actual image from her video, and you can see it has the same texture and streakiness as mine does as it dries, and she's addressing the issue of how it becomes less workable and streaky. And what she does is she sprays water with a water bottle on top of it, and it instantly smooths it and makes it workable again and reduces the brush strokes and the streakiness. You can do the exact same thing with the chalk paint recipe I gave you. I actually add water to my chalk paint recipe to make it a little bit more workable and smooth. It doesn't affect the opaqueness at all, but you guys, look how beautiful it covers with a second coat. It's absolutely gorgeous, and for the price, you cannot beat it. So here I am at Instagram. If you guys haven't followed me there, I would love it if you do, and on Pinterest. And I've got something really fun on Pinterest I wanted to share with you guys. I started a board where if I've inspired you to make a craft, I don't even care if it looks like one of the crafts I made. If I inspired you to make a craft and you'd like to share it, please send me the photo to Pinterest. You can email me there if you have an account, or to my Instagram, and I will put it up on that board. We already have 3 people over there with some beautiful crafts. They are absolutely fantastic, and I was so happy to share them. But when you think about it, YouTube kind of functions like a social network. Instead of posting posts like on Facebook, you post a video and then people get to comment below. And I just thought the Pinterest would be a great way for us to connect with each other, for you guys to connect better with each other. You can see what each other, you know, are doing, and it just seems like it would be a lot of fun. So when you get a chance, go check it out. So I'm just sanding it to further distress it a little bit, but note to self, you guys, do not sand indoors, even with a little bag, dust bag or whatever. Don't trust those little buggers. There was dust everywhere. So lesson learned. But anyway, we're sanding. And I want to add that whenever I sand or spray paint or do anything that involves stuff flying around in the air, I do wear a mask. I have N95 mask that I bought years ago for crafting, but unless it's made for children and it says it's non-toxic, and even then I don't think it's good to breathe in, but I highly recommend you guys wear masks when you craft and you know whatever you're crafting with is going to become, airborne, flying around in the air. So here's this little saying I got from an online farmhouse free printable. I will have her link as well in my description box, but I made mine larger, so I still uploaded my version onto the free website hosting site where I have my images now for all of you. And I'm just using the carbon paper method to transfer my words. For those of you that watch my videos, you know I love that method. It allows for me to stay in line with ink and or paint, and it looks very authentic vintage. I might get a Cricut one day. If I do, I'll be focusing more on learning how to make stencils with it. I think they'd be wonderful for that. And I'm still in the process of learning my inkjet printer. It's a very sophisticated printer with tons of settings. It's a touch screen. I think it can fly, but my kids got it for me for Christmas, and I know I can transfer imagery on there and then show people how to do that with different printers. But I have to learn how to use it first. And this is an ink pen. I love this ink pen. It's also down in the link in my description box. I'm leaving the edges kind of imperfect here on purpose. I don't know if you guys noticed on the printout, they're jagged and kind of faded in areas, and I'm trying to imitate that. I like the rustic look. I don't like anything that's like a cookie cutter factory type print. I just like it really rustic. So anything that's imperfect is more perfect for me. And we're going to be using this as a key holder. Believe it or not, I've been using a 99-cent store cheap key holder behind my refrigerator. No one sees it, but almost for 20 years. So I'm glad we're not neglecting this anymore. I'm really excited. Using a Sharpie to distress the edges a little bit and some white paint to add some distressing to the words that I painted and make them look like they're scratched. I do use some Mod Podge, and I add just a tiny bit of water in the Mod Podge. It helps with the glide factor I talk about in previous videos, and it does not affect the durability for indoor craft items. So it doesn't disrupt the paint this way. It goes on nice and easy, and the paint underneath stays nice. And here it is, you guys, and of course I love this one. It's staged here pretty with a bit of greenery for you guys, so it looks pretty, but it's already down in my kitchen with keys on it, and it's no longer hidden behind the refrigerator. You can see it. My husband loves it. Really sturdy, really nice. I actually loved all three of these DIYs. I didn't have a favorite. I was just really pleased with how everything came out. Let me know in the comments if you guys had a favorite. I always love to hear from you. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Teresa for asking me to do this collab. I had so much fun. You are such a sweet lady. And until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.